gastric bypass done, what was the problem, and then how you had to decide about coming to Punjab and how you selected us.
Okay. I had the band put in about 10 years ago, just a little over 10 years ago in Germany. The first year or so it seemed to work.
Mm-hmm.
I had a number of refills and checks at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think by the second year I realized that it would stop me eating.
Mm-hmm.
And in the first instance, food was not so much my original problem.
Uh-huh.
It was always about the liquids I was taking.
Right. Even before
the band.
Okay.
You know, but I thought that if the band helps me to still control
Mm-hmm.
quantity of food,
Mm-hmm.
somehow it will balance out and I'll lose more weight.
Uh-huh.
But it didn't work quite that way. I found a way to leave solids
Right.
and just drink my calories.
Right.
You know, so I think I went in for the band at about 130
130 kilos?
Yes.
Okay.
And the lowest I ever became was about 102.
102, lost about 28, 30 kilos.
Yes.
Good.
You
Okay.
know, in the first year or year and a half.
Right.
Then after that, it started going back up
Uh-huh.
and stabilized about 118
Okay.
for a long time.
Right.
And then the last year or year and a half, a few more kilograms, you know, added on again. So for me, the experience with the band, and of course you have to do the refills and all of that, you do get tired.
Mm-hmm.
For me, really, it did not give me the results I was expecting.
Okay. Because primarily you think that your problem was not with solid eating. You were not eating big volumes, even before the gastric band. And that's, I have a similar experience. Those who are eating big volumes, like if someone is a wrestler, you know, they're used to eating huge volumes.
Yes.
You do anything on him. You know, even if you do a dieting for like good 30 days, he might lose 30 kilos in 30 days. Because stop eating, you will lose weight, because that is where the fault was. In your case, the fault was not with the volume. And that's what I see every day. If we fix your volume, we get nothing, because we have fixed nothing. May it be a gastric band, or even if I do any other procedure, which is just restrictive, just brings you down in volume, because then you're pushed towards soft calories. You can take a lot of liquids, you can take cold drinks, whatever, and you can take even more amount of calories than what you were taking before surgery, because all the times your brain wants more, and you cannot eat solids, so then your cravings, you know, further go up, and it's a very, you know, embarrassing kind of situation when you got a lock here. You want to eat, but you cannot eat, and that's what I was always, you know, confused about. When I used to look from my patient's point of view, I will see, you know, surgery should be such wherein you can have some luxury to eat, at least a moderate amount of diet, solids like chicken, fish, vegetables, salads, fruits, like any other normal, you know, human being, because people eat and they live a normal life without any obesity, and they are not, you know, running for 8 hours every day. So what I find is majority of the population who is thin and lean and still eating, we need to look inside their tummies, what kind of design they have got. Is God, you know, especially different for them? God has given them a different designing. Maybe they have got a smaller intestine. Because we know they are not running like 10 kilometers every day. It's not like that. It's very easy to say, if you want to lose weight, eat less, do some exercise. But the question is, we need to be a little bit more analytical and see how much exercise. If you do half an hour on treadmill or elliptical, after making it somewhat tight, and you'll be sweating, you will be totally exhausted. And when you look at the calories which you have consumed by running 30 minutes, it will be between 400 to 600.
Yes.
Have you tried that?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And 400 calories in a day. If I give you one French vanilla, you know, a Canadian French vanilla, one big French vanilla with some biscuits.
That's it.
That's it.
Oh my word.
Yeah, and our Indian tea with sugar and biscuits, maybe twice, two times in a day, extra. You're done. Maybe 2 cold drinks. You're
That's
good.
it, yeah.
You can, so it's very easy to, you know, because our brain wants the calories. Brain has been actually designed and programmed by the Almighty. Because we need to look at our problem. We were in the forest running after animals for 7-8 hours in a day, searching for our food. We were all hunter-gatherers, you know. And it was not sure whether we get food next day or not. And there were no weapons. We used to, you know, find our prey and hunt with a stone or something like that. So if we get food, we should eat 2 hours, you know, satiety. So that's how we got a stomach which is distensible and you know it can expand and you can eat a huge amount because God designed it like that. And then intestine is long. On an average it is 24 to 27 feet, but I see patients who have 30 feet, 35 and even, you know, longer intestines. And if you got so long intestine, that would mean that even if you're taking half the volume of a normal, you know, other person who is maintaining normal weight, even then you might be absorbing double than him. So that's how, you know, we say even water gives you calories. So it's not always the fault of the patient. I agree, generally 15 to 20% fault, definitely it's attributable to your habits.
Yes.
But it would be wrong to say that whole of this is coming from the habits. Because no one can control the habit permanently. You know, it's like the way you are, you stay like that. In about 30 years, you attain some habits. And it's not easy to change your lifestyle. And we guys have been talking about changing the lifestyle after getting the bariatric surgery done. I would not believe that. And if you cannot change your lifestyle, you cannot lose weight. Or else we do something, you know, different, like if we do a bypass so that you absorb less. If you can literally see that oil getting out in the stools next day, because that's exactly what we want, that it should not get deposited. For small volume eaters, those who are not eating too much, they are actually difficult patients than the big volume eaters. And they, most of the times, they would need a longer bypass and a stronger surgery. And most of them will be failing the restrictive techniques very easily. So I don't say that these techniques don't work, but for these kind of patients, definitely you start cheating. You start taking liquid calories, and that's how, you know. So then how did you find India, Punjab and our practice? Is there some story about that you need to tell?
No, not a very difficult one. When because I also got diagnosed with severe arthritis, osteoarthritis on both hips and my spine. And last year I had surgery on my spine, but the hip condition is really bad and very painful. I tried to manage it. They said, you know, best to have hip replacement. I struggled with that, really struggled with that. I think the worst was when they described the procedure for hip replacement for a big person. It was going to be from the Khanna and not, you know, straight. So I said, oh no, I'm not going, at what age? I'm not going to put myself through that. And then instead thinking, I talked to my doctor and he said, you know what, the first thing to do is lose weight. Like, don't even talk about surgery for your hips. You know, you're too young to be considering hip replacement, except it is an emergency. But before we get to the emergency, the first emergency is your weight. It really needs to go down. When it goes down, the pressure on the hips would also reduce, and then we'd look at it after that. And even for all other health indices for you as you get older, the weight is not going to help. You know, so that started the journey of trying all manner of diets. I tried the keto. I tried the all protein. I tried the fruit. My mom prefers the fruit, so I tried the fruit. I managed to keep it for like a week, and I almost died. You know, I tried eating more because I love vegetables, so I tried eating more vegetables. I cut out the carbs. You know, I tried everything. Sadly, I think the first few months after the spine surgery, I lost some weight, and then gradually the weight came back again. And there's nothing we didn't try. Rather than go down, it'd add 1 kilo more, 1 kilo more, and I couldn't understand it. So I got desperate, and I said to my mom and my daughters that, you know what, there are people who God has given the gift of science, and science is tested, it's tried, not perfect all the time, but at least they've done some thorough research behind what they're doing. So that I think it's best we look at surgery and intervention as a means to weight loss, and then to also take the band out, because I wasn't happy having a foreign object sitting in my stomach somewhere. It wasn't doing anything for me. So if I could get the band out and then do some other type of surgery. So we started researching. I've had a few friends who've done the, what do you call that? The R and
Y.
Yeah, the
Y gastric bypass.
The full bypass. I didn't like the results. I mean, they became skeletons, you know, and have kept it that way. But the loss was too drastic. To my mind, it completely changed them, you know, so I didn't want that. So I just kept thinking, but I was desperate. So if that was the only surgery, maybe I would have had to do it. I was desperate. But I then read up. I said, okay, you know what? Let's throw in, this is 2018. There must be something new. Let's throw in a search on Google and ask for what is the latest bariatric surgery that, you know, has to do with a bypass, but not as severe. And then the mini bypass came up.
It popped up.
Yes.
Okay. So about your band being taken out and doing the mini gastric bypass in the same setting.
Same surgery.
They could do so much of practice in mini gastric bypass and so much of customization. You know, like in your case, we had to do a long bypass. We know you already failed a restrictive procedure, and you need more powerful procedure if you want to lose weight. And in your case, it's very much necessary for you to lose weight because you have to look at your hip joints also then. Do you have a feeling of nausea and vomiting?
No.
Tell me about that,
no.
about the difference between the feeling with the gastric band and feeling after the mini gastric bypass.
Oh yes, certainly a major difference. With the gastric band, I couldn't eat anything. I wanted to throw up all the time. Even a piece of anything would stick. Water would stick and want to come back up. And I had to take a lot of antacids, and they kept saying chew more, and I'm like, I'm chewing, I'm counting, I'm chewing, but this is not natural. But it happened for like 6 months. And anytime you didn't take it very easy, you were rushing to the bathroom to throw up, you know. But with the mini bypass, this is the 10th day now. I didn't feel like wanting to throw up. I wasn't uncomfortable at all. At all. It was just, I think the pain of my arthritis is more severe than the mini bypass. I felt very, very comfortable. So I'd say to anyone who is actually considering between doing a band, except you eat real huge volumes, then possibly the band will work for you. But other than that, I think the mini bypass is a better solution. The mini bypass, you're able to eat whatever you eat normally, just smaller portions, you know. So I'm particularly happy. There is a definite difference between the nausea, the feeling of nausea, not just nausea. With the band, it was worse than nausea. It was painful. You know, it would just like lock up, you know, and you'd have to. There were times I was really scared at the first 3 months. My chest would lock up, and I'll have to take deep breaths, you know, and calm myself down mentally. And then after about 30 minutes, it would seem like it's going. And the worst thing you could do was try to take water to see if you could push it down. Oh, that was the worst. You would then have to throw everything up.
Yeah, I'll tell you about this. Actually, this is very important thing which you are talking about, looking at this science from a patient's perspective, you know. how would we stop eating? We don't want to eat too much, that's for sure. But how to stop that? Either to put a lock here or do something which will give you a feeling that I don't want more. With MGB, we are giving you a wider outlet without any ring or band, but you are eating into the intestine. And your intestine is delicate. It's like a tube. And the moment you eat a little bit more than a moderate amount of diet, you can eat solids, you can eat semi-solids, no matter. But still you won't be able to eat this much. By eating a moderate volume, like in Indian system we say like 1 or 1.5 chapati with some lentil dal or some vegetable, small bowl, you will say, I don't want more, I'm good, I'm done. So that is exactly what we want our patient to say. Not that I want more, but it's not going down. Because then you will cheat it. Then you will try some liquid and it goes down. Try some cold drink or some ice cream, it goes down.
Oh yes.
And you get pushed towards soft calories. And that is when you need a dietitian to handle this, and you need a psychiatrist to handle this. Maybe you don't know how to eat. Because I will have to tell you not to take the calories, but what you can do if you cannot eat, you have to take something. Brain wants more. So with MGB, like, what do you feel after you take something, say some, say if you have taken, what kind of food you were taking now?
I was given the dal, the lentil soup.
Yeah.
The lentil soup 2 days ago. I could only take half a bowl.
Yeah.
And I was full.
And on the top of that, if I tell you, do you want to have a cold drink?
No.
Over that?
No.
Because your brain says,
I'm full.
I'm full.
Absolutely.
But with a band,
oh no.
If I give you a cold drink,
you drink it. Yeah. You drink it.
So that is how people say that mini gastric bypass works like a machine gun. The word mini actually is a misnomer. It's not mini, it's a machine gun. It's rather more powerful because you don't like to have these soft calories. So most of the patients, 95 out of 100 will say, we are done, we don't want more. So but at the same time you can eat healthy. Like within first few days you were eating soft diet. And although it was a revision case, in primary cases we'll start with the solid diet on day 5 or 6.
Oh wow.
So in this case we have to be a little bit more careful because it was a revision. So if you are eating healthy diet and not liking the soft calories and losing more weight, what else we want? And at the same time there is no foreign body inside. God forbid, if you lose too much weight and become skinny and whatever, we can take it down in 15 minutes.
Oh wow.
That is, and even after 20 years, because there's no foreign body which will get buried in the tissue. So all the times you got your natural system inside. So we hope for very good results, and just keep me updated every month. Did you check your weight? Did you lose some weight?
No, I haven't checked. Okay, we'll check now.
Yeah,
yes,
you must check.
Yes.
Can you just go and see?
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
So, are you happy?
Yes!
How much?
7 kilograms gone.
In 10 days?
Yes.
And without vomiting, without nausea?
None.
So this is the power of MGB. Don't underestimate it. It's a machine gun.
Oh wow.
I would say all the best to you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
still you don't skip the vitamins. Like you already got bad hip joints.
Yes.
You need calcium. So it's not that after mini gastric bypass you don't need vitamins, but obviously your diet is much better. And if you can take like 1.5 to 2 liters of milk, that means you have got enough calcium. But not everyone will take that much of milk.
Yes.
So supplements still should be used as supplements, not as a replacement to the diet. So diet is number one, healthy diet. You take non-veg food, chicken, fish.
Chicken, fish, yes.
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 So now we can start with that.
Okay.
Some fish. You want to try tonight? Yeah.
Yay.
Just try 1 or 2 pieces. Just go slow, chew well.
Okay.
But here you don't need to count how many times you chew.
Your brain will tell you
yes,
that you're
the brain
done.
will tell you. It's just autonomous. Brain will give you a signal. Just try to listen to your tummy and if it feels full, just stop there and keep on monitoring your blood levels of your iron, calcium, protein. We are given you in writing in this discharge card. So every 6 months, at least for the first 2 years, and after that every year.
Okay.
So that you should know, it should be on your fingertips. How much is your hemoglobin? How much is your calcium? How much is your iron?
Okay.